Hello YouTube, Gold Silver Strength here, and today we'll be doing a price action analysis of Tesla stock and whether or not this time is a good time to purchase some stock for the short term or possibly long term trading. So let's get into it. First, we'll analyze the Tesla stock using our moving average cross of the 9-day moving average and 26-day moving average. So since April, Tesla stock has been on a bullish MA cross, and then recently on the 7th, 2 days ago, Tesla stock formed a bearish MA cross, which is signaling the end of bullish momentum, and it's possibly going to chop sideways for a little bit or possibly decrease. Whether or not you can make a educated guess on the direction from the MA cross, you would need much more information, but this signals the end of any bullish momentum, and you would want to wait for more confirmation, either using another indicator or some other price action analysis or fundamentals on whether or not you should buy the stock right now. So the MA cross is a neutral in terms of buying. You definitely want to hold if you have positions for Tesla, or sell at a small loss, depends on your trading strategy. Another thing with the moving average cross is that Tesla stock seems to hover around the 9-day moving average. So if you can see, starting in April, it seems to hover around the 9-day moving average and then bounce off when it's getting close to the 26-day moving average. You can even see before the dip in March, it also likes to hover around the 9-day moving average. Something to keep in mind. And since it broke that trend pattern, you can expect something else to happen, and it will not follow that pattern right now, as it is forming a new pattern with this bearish cross. In terms of general patterns, right now I can see there is a lot of bottom tails right here at around 1380 and basically 1300. You have a channel of support right here that Tesla might bounce off of, but that is a possible area where investors and traders might get in to look for a small bounce back up, and then you can sell for a small profit. But if it does break through that support level, you have a lot of room to go down on right here. You have up until 1270 down towards 1100 where Tesla gapped, and whenever there's a gap, there's a lot of uncertainty, and this is another level that Tesla has support in. So really, Tesla has a lot of levels of support before it really gets very, very downhill from where it is right now at 1400. Looking at the historical pattern for Tesla, when it formed a bearish cross, I can see one where it dipped down in March, but there wasn't many gaps that formed prior to that dip in March. There's one maybe right here, but you can see that it tested it for about 3 days and then it just continued gapping down. So there was not a point in time recently, according to the daily chart, where Tesla gapped as big as this. So this is really new territory, and you would need another confirmation or another indicator on telling you which direction you might want to go to when approaching this gap. In terms of time patterns, in other words, how many candles before it hits another bearish candle, or how many consecutive bearish candles before it reverses, let us see right here from the highs from when it started the bearish cross. It formed about 4 candles right here, 1, 2, 3, 4, and then it continued with 5 more red candles consecutively. So really, we don't have, based off time patterns, something that Tesla might want to do. It doesn't signal to us that it's already maybe since the bearish cross 3 candles. So do we have 2 more candles and then an additional 5? It's tough to say because, again, Tesla still has to test this range of support in the 1300s, and then after that, it has a huge gap here that is a much more bigger band of support. So it has 1300 to break through, and then from 1270 down to 1100. So Tesla is looking very good in terms of catching itself on a support and then bouncing back up. And I would treat this general pattern of looking for these support levels much more than the time patterns, because the time patterns doesn't seem to be effective right here. You can try to count when it might reverse, but the candles don't support that argument. I briefly touched on the historical patterns. You can see here, since it formed the bearish cross in March, Tesla stock continued to go on a bearish run until it crossed over for bullish momentum on April 13th, 2020. But it really didn't cross the 740 mark until about a month and a couple days later. And even then, it trended sideways a little bit for about 2 months, and then it bounced back up. So could we expect some of the same? So let me put it this way. If Tesla continues on this slight bearish run, do expect a retracement up for a month or two to continue, because we have one piece of evidence from the daily chart where it did try to dip downward, and then even after recovering, it still hovered around this territory from April 14th, even up to the end of May. So a little bit over a month. 1 month going down, retracing, and then 1 month of consolidating where it was on the prior highs. So overall for Tesla, I'm neutral with a weak bearish opinion. Tesla does seem to want to support itself right here in the 1300s. It looks like a very strong bar of support with an even stronger bar right under it. So if you do want to have a small position in Tesla, that might be a good option to go when it bounces off this band at 13 in the 1300s. That might be a good time to get a small bounce back. But another side to this is you have to think of the alternative situation and be prepared for that. So if you do buy Tesla stock in the 1300s and it doesn't bounce back and continues to chop sideways or even fall lower, would you sell in the sticker band, or would you buy back some more? Again, you have to account for that situation as well. And then if you are very advanced and you want to manage your risk, you have to think, if it doesn't bounce back up from this range in 1370 to 1100, what then? Then you can rely on the time pattern to support you. Know that this might take about a month of retracing. And until that month is over, are you going to still hold Tesla and watch for any more patterns to form? Or are you going to let it consolidate and possibly bounce back up? Again, a lot of unknowns because we only have historical patterns to work from. But we can use this to effectively manage our risk, trade a position that we are comfortable in, and possibly make a lot of money when we nail these patterns right. So that'll be the end of this video, and thank you for listening. Are you tired of losing in trading and investing? Check out my videos where I do a bare bones analysis on just the price action. No fancy indicators, no gimmicks, just trend analysis and winning here. And I'll see you guys in the next video.